Alright, people, so I'm here with another live Periscope video. Usually when there's a big announcement on WWE, I would prefer to make a actual YouTube video, but, I figured I'd just upload this to YouTube and, people can comment their live thoughts or whatever they want to do here. So, I'm here to talk about, why I think this WWE, I hear, they're going to do a brand split. I don't know, if, who said that, but it looks like it's going to happen. And about this brand, I think it's gonna fail because who the fuck runs WWE? A bunch of morons who don't know what the fuck they're doing. I mean, we've seen that through all the shit they put on. So this is something different, which you could say is good, but you have incompetence running the show, so that's why I think in the end it's gonna fail. I mean, they have shown that they don't give a fuck about the SmackDown brand at all. They have turned that show into a show filled with jobbers. I mean, that's a show that is just so unbearable to watch. I mean, Raw is unbearable, but I mean, Raw is like watching a shitty show, but there's actually some stars on there, like Seth Rollins. And, it actually means a little bit more than, SmackDown's a shitty show with jobbers. That doesn't mean shit. So, and if they don't fucking try to make SmackDown a better show, which I don't think they're going to do because SmackDown has been deteriorating now for years, I think it's going to fail. And they don't have, I think it's a bad idea too because you have so much content now. I mean, you have 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown. I mean, you need a lot of fucking star power there to fill all those time slots. And when what happens though, it just most of the show on Raw is just garbage. It's just jobbers wrestling. Like Goldust versus R-Truth or some shit like the Golden Truth. Yeah, I mean it's just garbage television. And like I said, they what are they gonna do? Are they gonna SmackDown is such a shitty fucking. It has no worth to it. They have made it seem like shit. So what are they going to do? Put people like Cena and Rollins and, people like that on SmackDown? I mean, are we only going to be able to see those guys on SmackDown now? I mean, what's going, or is SmackDown going to stay a jobber show? So that's why there's just no way to win, really, with this brand split, in my opinion. And I mean, look at what WWE has done. I mean, when they first started off, before they had the SmackDown, it was just, they didn't really have a brand split or anything like that. So they had no brand split. Then they went to, Raw, SmackDown. Then they went back to no brand split, and now they're going back to it again. They're just going back and forth, back and forth. You just stick with one fucking thing and do it right. I mean, this company thinks that, we're fucking up. We're fucking up with the SmackDown brand. It's garbage. We're fucking up with the entire product. It's garbage. Let's do it. Let's bring back the brand split and everything's going to be great and jolly. How about you just put on entertaining television? That's the thing that they got to do. They don't have to worry about brand split or not because in the end, I really don't think it's a big deal. What fucking people are on which show. I don't think that's a big deal at all. They should be more concerned about the quality of the content as opposed to who's on what show. Is there a brand split? Is Seth Rollins just going to be on Raw or is he going to be on Raw and SmackDown? I just don't think it's that big a fucking deal. And also, they don't give a shit about SmackDown, so that's another reason why it's not a big deal. It's just, an argument that I don't think is that important, quite frankly. And it's more important that they actually give a shit about these shows and build them up. So there you go, people. That's kind of my thoughts. Maybe I'm wrong, but, what things has this company done successful? Not many. So I think they will fail on this, too. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there saying, this is a great idea. WWE is great. No, I mean, it's not a great idea. It's just going to be more of the same old shit. Might be, different. Maybe this is probably how it might go. SmackDown will be good for like a month or two. They'll put some significant people on there. Then they'll just fucking drop the ball with it like they always. Remember what they did with SmackDown? They were putting people like Brock Lesnar on there. Now look where it's at. It's back to the same old shit it was. People are like, this is so great. They have Brock Lesnar on SmackDown. They're revitalizing SmackDown. And I'm like, guys, SmackDown's a piece of shit. They're not going to follow through with it. And they didn't follow through, and I was right. You know, this company never follows through with anything. And the brand split, I think, is going to be more of the same. Don't get your hopes up, people. This company is run by incompetent retards. So I think it's going to suck. I think it's going to be a failure. And I think, it's going to be more of the same old shit, people. So, I mean, that's pretty much all I got to say on the brand split. I don't think it's going to work. And I think it's going to, because nothing in this company has really worked. And also, are they going to bring back a second title? I'm a big proponent of having 2 titles. And they don't have to fucking be one on Raw, one on SmackDown. They can be defended by whoever can compete for them. Because if you have 2 titles, especially with the added, that makes no sense. They add an hour to Raw, but they take away a title. Just makes no sense. And look at where we're I was saying, I do not like them putting the titles together, combining them, because now not as many people can become stars. You don't have, even though the World Heavyweight title, you could argue, wasn't, built up good, maybe it wasn't kept prestigious. It was still damn more prestigious than the IC or US title. So, by taking that away, they took away their ability to build up more stars. And look at where we're at now. Everybody's a fucking jobber, except Roman Reigns, who beats everybody. You got Roman Reigns, who beats everybody, and then everybody else is a fucking jobber and gets their ass kicked. And it is booked by even Stevens 50-50 booking most of the time. I mean, there's no stars in this company except Roman Reigns. And by a star, I mean people who they've built up and made one and given belts. I mean, look at the past WWE champions. Oh, Sheamus. Sheamus. I mean, look at where Sheamus is now. He's not even relevant, for crying out loud. But he was just champion 6 months ago. That's the incompetent bullshit I'm talking about that this company does. They put somebody as champion. Before he was champion, he was a fucking jobber. And then after he was champion, he was a fucking jobber. You know how much that devalues the worth of that belt? Then you have Seth Rollins running around, getting his ass kicked every week and getting beat every fucking week, who was champion. And now you have a boring fuck like Roman Reigns, who can't wrestle, who can't talk, who nobody likes as champion. And that just devalues the hell out of that belt. But anyway, I'm a big fan of bringing back 2 belts, because you need more stars in this company. That's more evident than that's more obvious than ever. They have no star power. Everybody's a fucking jobber, and every fucking match and segment seems like it's worthless, because they only care about building up one guy, it seems like, and that's Roman Reigns. But I digress. I think I've ranted enough, and there's kind of my thoughts on the brand split and some other shit. So there you go, people.